It's literally falling in love with God just like that. It's knowing it's the ooey gooey. I just met you. I love you. I desire you. There is nothing better than seeing the baby Christian enjoy the newfound Thanksgiving and see them going through the learning process, the courting process, and watching them fall in love with the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the lover of my soul, the one who is relentlessly pursuing after me, the one who will never leave me nor forsake me. It's falling in love with the wonderful, amazing God, falling in love with the Lion of Judah, who is the strong tower and will never let you go, and who says underneath you are his everlasting arms. He desires you. And it all comes by them understanding, by the lover understanding it was done by grace and grace alone. That they have received this magnificent gift, not because they think they needed it, but because God was so gracious enough to give it over. I got to tell you, I am in love with the Lion of Judah. I am in love with Jesus. The crazy thing is that most, if not all, fall into one of the most effective devices of the enemy. And the enemy loves to plant this device. He loves to place it within the context of the relationship, because he knows that, well, if this guy is so in love with God, then how am I ever going to get him to detour the way and the way he has him going? There's no effective way I could communicate with this guy because he's so wrapped up with this one God. How many of you know whenever you first got into your relationship, there was no other cutie girl or cutie dude that you could ever put your eyes on? It was just that one person, and you didn't care if the supermodel walked by. You were still in love with your first one. You're like, baby, please, I got you. You have me. We belong together. And all the songs rush back into your mind. Whatever song it was that was going on while you were dating. We're not going to get into that. Some of you guys have a little soul in you, so you maybe had just a little bit of Luther Vandross playing on in the background. Some of you guys, like country music, so maybe you had some Tim McGraw, or maybe you newer folk who love the country music. You may have some Taylor Swift, and when you think Tim McGraw, I hope you think of me, and all kinds of craziness. Some of you guys may be a little hip hop lovers or a little R&B lovers, so you had some little smooth grooves going for you. Whatever the case may be, the enemy knows that if you were so caught up in the lover of your soul, the Lion of Judah, that there is nothing he could do to detour you. But he still has this effective device that he places within the church, and it's very effective, to be honest with you. It's something that he loves to do, and that is creating the mindset change within yourselves. Because you're so wrapped up with this lover that nothing else can detour you but a mindset change. And the enemy loves to come in and create a change within you. And here's what the change is. It's going from, God, thank you so much, it's only by your grace, to the complete opposite of works. We see, we become so comfortable in our relationship with God that the acts performed for God are no longer done out of the overflow of thanksgiving, but are rather done for the response of the reaction. The response of our actions. No longer is it, God, I do this because I desire you. It becomes, well, every time I do this, God reacts a certain way. So hopefully I've gotten him down enough. I understand his facets enough that whenever I do something, he'll return in this kind of response. He'll give me the same gift that he gave me the last time I did this. He'll do this for me the same way that he did it the last time. Therefore, the greater the action we think, the greater the response, the reward we are expecting. The greater the action on our parts, the greater the response, the greater the reward we are expecting from God. Our mindset shifts from grace and gratitude to justification and deserving. Justification and deserving. We think that, well, God, didn't you see what I did for you? Didn't you see what I did for you? Last time I did this, you gave me this kind of a response. And we go from, God, I'm doing this because I desire to do this. I desire to love on you, to, Lord, really, I really think that I deserve this type of answer, this type of response. And here in Galatians chapter 3, Paul is telling the Galatians, he says, you foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Who has bewitched you? Who has put a hex on you? Before your very eyes, Christ was clearly portrayed as crucified. I would like to learn just one thing from you. Did you receive the Spirit by observing the law? Do you deserve this, he's saying? Do you really deserve what's going on because you were so good to live up to the standards and the expectations and everything you've done? You've kept the commandments, so now you deserve this grace? He says, did you receive this by observing the law or by believing what you heard? By believing the gospel? Are you so foolish? After beginning with the Spirit, are you now trying to attain your goal by human effort? By human effort? And that's the question I bring to you this morning. Really? Do you really think that it's by your futile deeds, by the things that you've done for God, that he's given you his grace? Because if that was the case, Jesus would never have come. Everyone would have found faith through the law. Everyone would have found faith through their actions, through being a good person, through observing the commandments. Or do you really believe that it is only by grace that you've received this magnificent relationship with God? And Paul is correcting him, saying, who bewitched you? Who came into the church and spoke these lies over you? Saying, observe the law and you're fine. Get back to knowing that it was by grace. Get back to knowing that it was only done because he first loved you. Because he desires you.